to Hardwood Heroes' first ever playoff show. I'm Natalie LaFleur.
And I'm Joshua Herner, filling in for Ty Carpenter. Now, the best time of the year is finally here.
And as promised, we've got brackets, previews, and breakdowns to discuss. But first, as many of you have already heard, the TVC is going to look pretty different in a little over a year.
And it could have a huge impact on how future TVC teams are ranked in the playoffs. We spoke with coaches throughout the conference about their thoughts.
It's fun. I think it's good for the kids. It's good for the communities. It's good for the schools, as a whole. And I think that's what it seems like that's what a lot of leagues are going to now. Big leagues like the SOC seems like they keep the money in-house now.
I can't tell you that I'm that happy about it, that we're going to be forced to go to a division where the other three schools are 20 minutes apart and we got to drive an hour and 15 minutes to get to each one of those. I don't like the idea that it's only a 4-team conference.
I think it's really good for this area. I think the TVC Ohio will be open.
I think it's good for small schools to have big schools in there with them, kind of that backing, that support.
So a lot of exciting matchups to look forward to for the boys. Oh, excuse me. 1 second here as we're going to take a look at some of the playoff brackets, and we're going to welcome in reporter Andrew Woods with the latest.
Thanks, Josh. And this expansion is historic for the TVC, and the conference last added a team in 2014, and they've never added 3 at once. Yet the collapse of the Twin State League meant the TVC had the perfect opportunity to add some good teams. Now, let's look into the details. The new division, which will be called the TVC Muskingum, will contain former TSL members Fort Fry, Marietta, and Warren, as well as current TVC Ohio member Athens. There are rumors of more teams like Gallia Academy and Jackson joining, but none are confirmed yet. There won't be too many changes to the Ohio or the Hawking as a result of this expansion. First, the only change to the Ohio is Athens' departure, which will reduce the number of teams in the division from 7 to 6. Meanwhile, the Hawking won't see any changes as a result of this expansion. The lineup will remain the same as it has been for the last few years. In the TVC Ohio, the girls teams in the conference are glad to see Athens gone. The Lady Bulldogs have won 3 straight titles, but with them out of the conference, the door's open for teams like Vinton County to win the division. However, the implications of this expansion go far beyond conference titles.
So you talked about the conference, but will the realignment affect the playoffs?
Absolutely. To put it simply, Athens wins and the rest of the Ohio loses. Athens will play more D3 teams in the Muskingum, such as Warren, which will help them improve their RPI. Meanwhile, without Athens on the schedule, other Ohio teams will have fewer chances for a big payday.
Now, although it's nice to know about the future, let's focus on the present. We have some playoff brackets to reveal, don't we?
Right you are. It's time to reveal the boys district tournament brackets. Let's start in Division 3. In it, 8th-seeded Athens will have a tough first-round matchup against the top-seed TVC champs, Miami Trace.
Now, who leads the way for these Panthers?
It's senior center Adam Guthrie. You may know him from Gridiron Glory, but he's deadly on the hardwood too.
Now, I know D4 has a ton of strong teams. How will that affect the TVC teams in it?
D4's strength has pushed down several team seeds. For example, Megs, a TVC Ohio contender, is ranked only 6th in the division. The Marauders will play Westfall in the first round. Meanwhile, Vinton County struggles down the stretch, meaning they'll have to visit Gallia Academy, and River Valley will try to shock the world by upsetting Waverly. Now guys, if you thought D4 was stacked, D5 is even better. Case in point, Wellston. They had their best season since at least 2006. That was only good enough for the 8th seed. The Golden Rockets will look to continue their historic season with a win over Northwest.
So besides Wellston, what do the other TVC teams' paths look like?
They look pretty different. Nelsonville York finished the season strong to earn the 13th seed, but they'll have a really long road trip to Winchester to take on Eastern Brown. Meanwhile, Alexander will have a road trip to Coal Grove in the OVC in a first-round game. And if the Spartans win, they'll play OVC champions Ironton. In Division 6, we have an all-TVC matchup in the first round, as 8th-seeded Waterford hosts 9th-seed Belpre. Those two split their regular season series, so this will be fun.
Now, Andrew, who do you think will win the rubber match?
I think Waterford's the favorite in this one. Both times these two played, the home team won. This time, Waterford has home court and the Wildcats have played incredibly well down the stretch.
So finally,
Belpre and Waterford battle, Eastern will look for an upset over Huntington.
So finally in D7, I noticed one TVC team has risen above the others.
I saw that too. TVC Hawking champs Southern have rolled through their schedule to earn the top seed. And and the Tornadoes begin what could be a really long playoff run against Sciotoville East. Meanwhile, Trimble and Fat Hawk will also try to represent the Hawking with some upsets. They'll try to defeat Notre Dame and Fairfield respectively. Now, I'm excited for all of these teams, but I'm especially excited for Southern. They're one of the best teams in the area, and I think they're battling for the Convo or even Dayton.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm hyped to watch all of them as well. Thanks for the great work. So enough talk about the future. Now let's get to the present.
Yeah, and excuse me. Yeah, Josh, the People's Indians saw Belpre for the district quarterfinal. And with that, we bring in reporter Joshua Jacobs with that.
Guys, these two teams are officially in win-or-go-home territory. And for Belpre, there's one person who has a big say in how they will respond. Now, we've talked about her before, but she has just kept dominating. Gracie Bills averaging a double-double in points and rebounds while also leading the team in assists, steals, and blocks. The only statistic she doesn't lead in is three-point percentage, and she's still second on the team. It goes without saying she will be the main factor in how this team performs. Now let's move on from the hypothetical straight to reality. These two teams lined up and are both looking for a chance at the semifinals. Julia Way showing that aggression early, scoop and score to get Belpre on the board early. Pacey Shively, she's going to get it on the action down low. Using that soft touch, she gets it to go and takes the lead at the end of the half, 21-18. Now a quick release from Alyssa Smalley from the corner. She was efficient all night and a key factor in keeping them in this game. Now if there is utter dominance in the paint, it's a good chance you're looking at Gracie Bills. Board and bucket in hand. Kendall Myers taking a page out of that book and gets Peebles the lead at the end of the third, 43-35. But Belpre would surge in the fourth and Che Parsons would come in the clutch from the line. In the end, it was too much for the Peebles to overcome. Belpre takes this one 53-52 in an absolute nail-biter.
I mean, JJ, you can tell it's officially win or go home season with how these two fought till the end.
Agreed, and Belpre is going to have to find even more if they want to find themselves in a deep into tournament play.
We saw the Golden Eagles struggle early with turnovers, but when it mattered most, they came through.
Yeah, they cleaned it up in the second half, but in future games, they might not get that opportunity to come back like they did in this one. So they're going to have to start taking care of the ball.
And this team has been through it this season, and they've definitely risen to the occasion.
Yeah, we've seen them do it before, but can they do it again? They're just going to have to keep evolving in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thanks, JJ. We saw a quarterfinal play-in game this week. Wellston and Megs faced off for the third time this season for a date with Portsmouth on the line. So who's playing Portsmouth? Megs reporter Lindsay Crawford is here to let us know.
Thanks, guys. Like I talked about Sunday, this now marks the trifecta of the Wellston-Megs matchup. And looking back into their last two meetings, Megs came out on top by a pretty significant margin, and that's due to their strong offensive play. Big contributors like Allie Heinzel, Ella Vaughn, Shelby Yost, and Peyton Kranick ran the court during these games. But something to remember is Wellston's sneaky good defense. They've got a tough full-court press that has gotten stronger since the last time these two saw each other. And since that last meeting, Wellston has picked up 2 wins of their own. And we knew the Marauders would be without Yost for this matchup, but we didn't know they would be down starter Peyton Kranick. Both are key players to this Marauder machine and are tough opponents to say the least. Yost is a fantastic ball handler that helps the squad keep things moving on the offense, while Kranick's aggressive play helps the force turn over and get the ball back in transition. But enough about that. Let's get right into this one. Off the jump, Braylon Hubbard with the bank shot for the Marauders, putting points up early. And next in show, Jordan Davenport to Ella Vaughn. She knows she's got this one from behind the arc. That's cash, and you'll be seeing a lot more from her. There she is again. Nasty spin pass to Colson. Cookie Jenkins off the board and in the jar for 2 more. Marauders up 13 to head into the locker room, but after the break, it would be all Golden Rockets. This play here just one in a series of a Wellston 14-point run to take control in the third. Back again, it's Vaughn with a layup, trying to salvage the game, but to no avail. It would be Kennedy Stevens who put the final nail in the Marauders' coffin. They'd head back to Wellston with the dub, 40-35. Coach Dana Ebert spoke about how the win felt.
Felt really good, so really excited for our kids. You know, when we went into the locker room after the first half, they were down, but they turned it around, and it felt good to come back and battle back, to persevere and show that grit and get the win.
So it started off a little shaky, but what a comeback for Wellston.
For sure, guys. With this game in the record books, they are looking at a whole new beast in the next round. And that beast is the Portsmouth Trojans, who are going to be a tough team to beat. I'd like to remind the folks at home that they are the defending state champs.
And they are definitely in the driver's seat of this bracket and are sitting at an impressive 17-4.
Yeah, and they're averaging a whopping 60 points per game, while the most Wellston has put up this season is only 47. The player who leads that offense is Sienna Allen, who leads the school in points all time. And there's a lot of talent surrounding her as well. With that being said, the Golden Rockets are definitely going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see if Wellston can take out the 1 seed. Thanks, Lindsay. So let's stay in the Ohio and see how those Lady Vikings did in their district quarterfinal.
They took a trip to Gallipolis to face off with the Blue Angels. Let's find out if the Vikings are advancing and bring in VC reporter Ella Hughes.
Thanks, guys. This isn't the first time Gallia Academy and Vinton County have met this season. The last time these two teams met, it was a close game with Gallia Academy only winning by 4 points. And the Vikings have proven all year that they are able to stay close with opponents. Each team will need to have a big performance from key players to come out with a win. And this Viking squad relies heavily on a full team performance to play their game the right way. Seniors like Kylie Smith and Emma Leeming are vocal leaders on the court, helping players like sophomore Olive Booth, who is dangerous from the arc and can put up big points in close games. Just looking back at their most recent game against Athens, BC had 7 different players on the score sheet. They're hoping for a strong performance up and down the lineup. Let's get right into this one and see just who stepped up. Now, the Vikings would be the first team to strike with a clean pass in the paint from Leeming to Smith for the lay early in the first. But the Blue Angels would respond with physical points of their own from Mallory Petro, and Gallia would end the quarter up 13-11. VC had the best opportunities when moving the ball in the paint. Here, Leeming is going to find this rebound and force up a shot with Zoe Nichols on the finish. 21-20 Vikings at the break. VC entered the third quarter looking to put this one away, and here's Smith putting this one back, extending their lead 23-20. However, Gallia would respond by going on a 7-0 run, really challenging the VC defense, taking the 27-23 lead. The Blue Angels would not let their foot off the gas. VC grabbed late points, but ultimately were unable to come back. Gallia Academy would end Vinton County season in a 50-46 victory.
Well, so definitely a shocking loss for this team who's played very well as of late.
Yeah, this is a Viking team that has been really strong against physical opponents. It was clear that this was an experienced VC squad who knew how to lock down. And their physicality in the paint was really a highlight for this Viking team, who could dominate when scoring gritty points.
However, they also struggled with going down early in the game and needing to claw their way back, right?
Yeah, that's right. Even after last week's loss, head coach Brett Jones was really proud of the team's fight and relentlessness down to the very last whistle. And for the Vikings, finishing 8-3 in the conference, maybe 9-3 when they play River Valley, and just behind Athens, is an improvement from last season and something to be proud of. With seniors like Smith and Leeming leaving, it creates space for younger talent like Booth and Nichols to step up with a win against VC. The Blue Angels' next game is against the Circleville Tigers, who play a slow style of basketball. And it will be a good matchup for Gallia Academy, who have an up-tempo style of play. Overall, this season was a great season for the Vikings, who look to come back stronger next year.
Yeah, I have no doubt they'll be able to do that with this returning core. Thanks, Ella. So the number 2 team in the Ohio Girls Conference is knocked out, but we need to check on number 1.
Yeah, Athens was hoping to remain dominant as they hosted Miami Trace. Let's ask Athens reporter Luke Schmidt how that one shook out.
Guys, remain dominant is right. The Bulldogs completed the season sweep in their conference. They went undefeated, winning 12 games. Defense has played an integral role in the Bulldogs' success, but their region is loaded with strong defensive units. Second-seeded Sheridan allows an eye-popping 28.7 points per game. Uniota, Marietta, and Miami Trace each gave up fewer than 40 a contest, a feat only Athens from the TVC Ohio can match. Needless to say, the competition is getting harder for the Bulldogs, a team that has struggled in recent postseason runs once they get past that first round. Looking at their last 2 tournament appearances following the TVC Ohio title, they fell to Circleville 50-35 and 24 in a hard-fought battle. That group returned with more experience last year, reaching the district quarterfinals, but on UDO's home floor, they lost 75-53 in Asa Holcomb's final game as a Bulldog. Jumping to this year, this is a more experienced Bulldog team, so let's see if they can get the job done. Bulldogs sharing the ball early in the first possession of the game, pass to Bristol Sump on the arc, and that's green. Bulldogs jumped out to an early lead. Miami Trace's defense getting to work. Zoe Groom snatching the rebound behind Kupel. She handed it off to Gracie Lovett, who goes down the court and crossed over Ella Chapman, caller Paige Beckers. Athens led 23-18 at half, getting the job done on both ends. Team effort blocked by Quinn Banks and Lex Hupel falls in the hands of Olivia Smart. Smart in the pocket, slowing the ball down the court to Bristol, who stops and catches 2 Panthers jumping past the baseline. Bulldogs lead by 20 after 3. The Athens defense held strong for one final quarter, defeating the Panthers 45-28 in a stellar defensive performance in the first round of the playoffs.
So now with this Bulldog win, Athens wins their 20th game of the season in pretty impressive fashion.
Josh, the Bulldogs do what they do best. They shut down Miami Trace, and they made it look easy out there. This game was a big pivot from the recent Bulldog victories where they put up big numbers against TVC rivals. Athens played with a high-intensity defensive motor that forced Panther turnovers and even held them scoreless for all the third quarter.
Yeah, and not to mention not even giving up a field goal in the second. How did the Bulldogs adjust to this competition?
Well, Athens post player Lex Cooper received 2 fouls early in the first quarter. Coach Skinner had the team play zone defense instead of the man defense they played all season. Bit of a change, but this gave Cooper a cushion and kept Athens out of foul trouble that night. So with their 17-point victory over Miami Trace, Athens advances to the district quarterfinals. Because Athens is in Division III, they play stronger opponents than most of their TVC counterparts. They're going to travel to Thornville to take on Sheridan this Thursday. Lady Generals are a formidable foe out of the MBL. They were second in their conference behind West Muskingum, a stat worth keeping an eye on as the Bulldogs defeated the Tornadoes 37-33 earlier in their season. This Sheridan team is the real deal. They defeated 7th-seeded Chillicothe 69-14 on Monday. Bulldogs, Generals. It doesn't get much better than this. Let's see if Athens can reach the district finals for the first time since 2014.
Yeah, Luke, I can't wait for that matchup. Thanks for the great work. Well, those games are the first few notched in the bracket.
Yeah, so Athens, Belpre, and Wellston are looking for what comes next. We're going to bring back on lead analyst Andrew Woods to debrief what the playoff matchups are looking like.
Thanks for bringing me back on. We've already seen 5 TVC teams in action, but 8 of them haven't hit the court just yet, and we'll talk about what they have in store. Plus, we'll take a look at the TVC teams who won this week we'll face in the next round. Let's start with Division III again. As you know, Athens took care of business against Miami Trace, and the Bulldogs will try to take down number 2 Sheridan to move on.
So how do you think that game will go?
Expect a close defensive battle in this one. The Generals allow a measly 29 points per game, while Athens allows only 34. And as Luke mentioned, that's a theme in this region. Moving on to Division IV. Although Vinton County put up a close fight against Gallia Academy, the Lady Vikings fell just short, losing 50-46. That means there are no TVC teams left in the Division IV tournament, but this is the only division with no conference teams left. Unlike D4, we've got 4 TVC Ohio teams still alive in D5. Alexander is the only one of them who will host their district quarterfinal game.
And they'll be seeing a familiar opponent, won't they?
Yes, they will. The Spartans have a rematch with Huntington, making it the 3rd year in a row those two have met in the postseason. Elsewhere in the bracket, River Valley and Nelsonville York both play district finalists from last season. The Raiders will face Wheelersburg, while the Buckeyes will take on North Adams. Finally, Wilson will have a tough matchup against defending D5 state champions Portsmouth.
So now over in D6, some of the Hawking's best are in contention for titles. What does the road ahead look like for them?
For top seed Fed Hawk, a matchup with Lynchburg Clay is on the docket. Meanwhile, Hawking co-champ Waterford plays Ripley. In addition, thanks to their narrow win over Peebles, Belpre also moves on to the district semifinals where they will play 2C Cole Grove. Finally, in Division 7, the other Hawking co-champ Eastern also earned a top seed in a bye, though Eagles will play either White Oak or Meigs County rival Southern in the district semifinals.
Although Eastern is the favorite, who else could contend for a district title?
TVC Hawking rival Trimble will try to defeat Eastern in the finals, but they can't put the cart before the horse. They have to beat Manchester and win their second round game against South Gallia or Sciotaville East before they play the Eagles. As you all have seen, there are a ton of strong TVC girls teams, and the Hawking is loaded this year. I could especially see Waterford, Trimble, Eastern, and Fed Hawk all make big tournament runs this year.
Yeah, no doubt. We had a 3-horse race at one point. Thanks again, Andrew. All right, so some girls teams have hit the ground running, but some of the top seeds have yet to start.
Yeah, but we're looking forward to some key matchups, and let's start with the Lancers. Lynchburg Clay is teeing up to see them, and Fed Hawk reporter Charlie Lusk is here with the details.
Thanks, guys. Tournament play has been on the mind of the Lancers, and this team has been building towards it. Even outside the daunted TVC Hawking with the defending D7 champs, the Lancers have battled night in and night out. They have stacked their schedule with Fort Fry, who won the Fed Hawks region last year, 2 D2 teams with Bishop Watterson and Bishop Hartley, and several teams across the state that ended up winning their conference.
There is a game to circle on the calendar seemingly every week.
Well, Coach Amos Cottrell preached the mantra 22 practices, prioritizing experience over wins and losses, which Cottrell spoke about early in the season.
We're going to win some big games, we're going to lose some games. You know, we're 1-2 now. Haven't had the greatest start, but we've played 3 pretty solid teams also. So we're okay with where we're at. And if we end up 500. We know we're going to be really good 500 coming into the tournament.
Wow, so with preparation like that, it's safe to say the Lancers are trying to make a jump as a program.
Absolutely, just like they have the past 3 years. Since 2023, Fedhawk has taken a leap when it comes to postseason success and expectations. Lancers outdid their 4-14 previous campaign to win a close playoff game against Alexander before running into Rock Hill in the sectionals that year. Then in 2024, Fedhawk captured their section, made it to the district final before falling to Portsmouth West. Then in 25, the Lancers got their revenge against the Senators, grabbed their first district title since 1989, eventually falling short in the regional semis. What happens next, what the next step is in 2026, that is the million-dollar question.
Before Federal Hawking can potentially compete for the region and state, they have to win their district. They face Lynchburg Clay, and if they win, the Lancers play the winner of South Webster and Valley in the district finals.
Yeah, the Southern Hills Conference produces a lot of good basketball, so the Mustangs are certainly battle-tested themselves. Plus, South Webster and Valley both give up less than 42 points per game. So despite their top seed, Federal Hawking will still need to bring their A game to power through this district.
So as you said, Fedhawk the past 3 seasons has taken big leaps come this time of year. What are some keys to taking the giant leap to maybe winning it all?
Well, first they have to reduce slow starts like we saw against teams like Southern and Trimble. Next, the Lancers have to clog the passing lanes to the best of their abilities. You're not going to get many clean looks in February and March, so if you can take significantly more shots than your opponent, your chances of winning skyrocket. Now this is a deep Lancer team, but it is spearheaded by their leading scorer, Brendan Cottrell. She's the primary facilitator, on top of being an effective force on defense, applying pressure and grabbing coast-to-coast buckets. A big Cottrell performance will be critical for their run. To summarize, tournament time is here, and Federal Hawking is ready.
Yeah, and I know Coach Cottrell will have his Lady Lancers ready. Thanks, Charlie. To see more all about the playoffs and around the TVC, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, X, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can find video content on the WOUB PBS YouTube channel and written content at woub.org/heroes. Now, the Eastern girls were finally able to play their final conference game at Southern.
And after defeating the Tornadoes, the Lady Eagles have claimed a share of the TVC Hawking. And here to talk about the team's success is Eastern reporter Evan Johnson.
Yeah, guys, it's been a long time coming, as is the first time the Lady Eagles have won the TVC Hawking since 2014. But before they could celebrate, they had to go through their rival Southern, which wasn't an easy task.
Yeah, and it was a slow start for both sides.
No doubt. Southern threw a 2-3 zone at Eastern, which eliminated the paint, and the Lady Eagles were struggling to knock down shots early. We've talked about Eastern's incredible defense, and they showed up again with a harassing full-court press.
So with the impressive defensive performances, how was Eastern able to come out on top?
It's simple. Great players make the shots that matter the most. Kirsten Fackler and Ashton Thomas both hit big shots down the stretch. After the win, this squad is focused on changing the narrative of Eastern girls basketball.
It feels nice to shut everyone up because everyone thinks that we're terrible, and it just feels nice to finally show everyone like the hard work that we put in, not just in basketball but same with volleyball this year. It just shows that women's sports can dominate just like male sports, and it feels really good to finally show everyone that like we're not equal, like we're above.
What an accomplishment for this school, winning that TVC title for the first time in 12 years.
Yeah, Natalie, and the last time it happened, the Lady Eagles went on to win the state championship. So let's take it all the way back to 2014, to one of the most dominant seasons in Ohio girls basketball history. This team cruised throughout the year, winning 27 games and averaging over 73 points a game while only allowing 32. Some of their most lopsided wins included 89-7 over Trimble and 83-4 over Wahama.
And there were certainly some legendary players that came from the squad.
Yeah, they were led all season by Jenna Burdett, who is Eastern's all-time leading scorer and current assistant coach for the Tennessee Lady Bulls. In the state title game against Bishop Rosecrans, she led the game with 24 points. Current head coach Hayden Plummer was honored to be compared to the legendary team.
I was actually in high school when that 2014 team played, so I got to watch them. But it's pretty awesome to be compared to them because they were, one of the best teams that probably the state of Ohio has ever seen. But now we're just, we picked up a game with Parkersburg South on Wednesday. That's a big one for us, so we're looking forward to that. Hopefully that gets us ready for the tournament and we can make a run here.
So when looking at that state championship team and this year's roster, they both have accomplished a lot, but they got here in completely different ways.
Yeah, that state championship team was already established. They had 36 wins in 2 seasons before their run, but this current team, they've only had 4 in the past 2 seasons. In that 2014 team, they also had an established coach, legendary John Burdette. And then coming into this year, it was first-year head coach. There was a lot of question marks, but so far he's answered them all. That 2014 team was loaded with seniors, 8 of them. This year's team, 0, all underclassmen. But despite these differences in how we got to now, the goal stays the same, and that's to win a state championship.
And with earning that 1 seed, Eastern has set themselves up for a run.
Yeah, Andrew touched on it earlier, but Eastern has that bye and will play the winner of White Oak or Southern. Now, Eastern has already beat Southern twice, and talking to players after the game, they're fairly certain they can do it 3 times if they have to. But if not, White Oak is averaging just over 42 points, and Eastern's specialty has been their defense this year, only allowing 41 points per game.
So what does this team need to do to win a district championship for the first time since 2017?
It's the role players stepping up. Freshman Emily Lloyd has been great from the 3-point line as well as defense. And then you have Ashlyn Thomas. She has really certified herself in this starting lineup. She's made her presence known in the paint. Then you have the junior Mackenzie Robertson. She has been money from deep this year. So if they can keep playing their brand of basketball, the sky's the limit for this team. And a new era of Eastern girls basketball is here, and from what we're seeing, it is here to stay.
This team definitely has the potential to live up to previous squads. Thanks, Evan.
So we have a lot of exciting games to look forward to this playoff season. I know it's only February, but this is my March Madness.
Yeah, Josh, we have a lot of TVC basketball that we watch, so we have our own predictions of how things are going to unfold. Now, I know we're only just starting the playoffs, but I think those Southern boys have a good chance of going all the way and taking that state title. They dominate nearly every opponent. And I mean, between Reed Brinegar and Andre Chandler, this team is stacked. Not to mention they finished the season undefeated in conference play, so momentum has not slowed down.
All right, Natalie, good pick, but I'm going to switch over to the girls' side for mine, and that's the Federal Hawking Lady Lancers. Despite not winning the conference this year, this is a team that has had a ton of playoff success in the previous 2 years, and they return a lot of players that have had that success in the postseason in the past. There is a chance they could also get fellow conference for Waterford in the Elite 8. And speaking of Waterford, for the team that I think could make a Cinderella run, give me the Waterford boys. They've been one of the hottest teams in the TVC, and they've got some hoopers on this squad. Gavin Heener and Finn Pennick have all been great, but Reese Lang has been the star of the show lately. A guy who could shoot and score from practically anywhere on the court is so valuable this time of year.
Now, I see where you're coming from, Josh, but I'm going to have to go with those Eastern boys. Now, I know the record doesn't show it, but you cannot underestimate this squad. 9 of their 15 losses are within 8 points. Keep in mind, they beat VC earlier this year, who's beat the TVC dominant Megs, plus they played a close game with conference leader Southern, only losing by 7. So speaking of Eastern, reigning player of the year Colton Lloyd is a powerhouse, but I think Reed Brinegar could take the cake for MVP this year. I mean, have you seen this guy play? He's a problem on the court for every opponent. He hit 1,000 points this season, and he's only a junior. Do the math. He's averaging over 15 points a game, and that's not even talking about his assists. This guy can do it all.
All right, I'm going to Eastern. The girls this time, give me the young star Kirsten Fackler. They have some great performances. She might just be a freshman, but she's put together some big-time performances this season. This team will only go as far as she'll take them, and I think they're going pretty far. Multiple 20-point games against opponents like Waterford and Fed Hawk. But who knows how these cookies will crumble? I know. I just can't wait to see it.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of year. But my favorite time of the week has got to be Sunday, when episode 6 of Hardwood Heroes will air on 11 p.m. On WOUB and the WOUB YouTube channel.
And of course, don't forget our socials. And as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.